Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bella and this is the second installment of Ban Book Talk, a 3-episode series I will be doing on a comprehensive guide to book banning and its negative implications on our society. This episode will cover why book banning should be considered an issue that needs to be dealt with properly and promptly. Before we get into the bulk of this video, I would like to do a summary of the last video in order to highlight some main points that will be relevant for today's video. The first installment covered a general overview of the book banning process, beginning with explaining what a challenge is in the context of book bans and ending with an explanation of the 3 separate outcomes that a challenge can have. In the video, I had also provided some easily digestible statistics for viewers to consider, which I felt really highlighted the importance of resolving the issue. If you have not watched the first installment, I will highly recommend watching that before continuing on with this installment. As I previously mentioned, it is often the young adult audience of readers who are losing the most access to information through these book bans. Largely, it has been to the credit of advocacy groups such as Moms for Liberty, or M4L, which was founded in 2021 in favor of classroom censorship and has been widely impactful in terms of lobbying for the limiting of their own children along with other youths from accessing books which go against their ideologies. Some states have even introduced legislation to encourage book banning within educational settings, such as Florida's Parental Rights and Education Bill. This bill prohibits the discussion of sexual orientation or gender identity, causing schools to have to remove educational materials regarding the subject matter from their libraries. These advocacy groups and government actions, through the limitation of information based on specific mentions of a certain topic, infringe on students' First Amendment rights. As someone who one day hopes to work in the field of education, I personally think that it is imperative we provide students with the right to research and make their own conclusions about the world around them. These conclusions should not be warped by their parents, and certainly not by their government. Moving on to more specific and tangible drawbacks to book bans, I would first like to explain how classroom environments can be altered by these bans. For one, they can discourage students from reading entirely. Banning books limits students' access to literature, and with this restricted access, it should be expected that reading levels will begin to drop. This is especially true when students' interests are not reflected in the books that are made available to them, which may cause them to become alienated from reading altogether. Through this, limiting access to different texts, especially considering that an overwhelming amount of banned titles have to do with diverse themes and ideas, can prevent students from engaging with complex themes and make strides to challenge social norms. This can also hinder the development of critical thinking skills, which leads to a less nuanced worldview. Not to mention, these bans would have drastic negative impacts on teachers. Fear of backlash from parents or administrators can cause teachers to begin censoring and/or completely avoiding certain topics or books, even if it is valuable information for students to be exposed to. This not only restricts academic freedom, but it also limits the quality of education itself. The next most pressing impact is how diverse communities can be affected by these bans directly. Book bans effectively represent attempts to silence the spread of ideas from certain demographics, which erases narratives that represent diverse communities. Those who benefit from societal norms, the ones who are typically responsible for book challenges, will always feel threatened by media that attempts to go against the status quo. But there is no reason to prevent everyone from accessing these stories. When people are limited in access to stories that represent their own circumstances, particularly those from marginalized groups, they can begin to feel isolated and may contribute to a higher rate of mental health challenges. These mental health challenges can also be spurred by an extra stigma generated by book bans. Before we end today's video, I would like to shed light onto these sources I utilized for my research. I found each of these extremely helpful in aiding my understanding of the topic, and I would definitely suggest checking them out. I will be linking them in the description box down below for your own convenience. And that is it for this installment. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please subscribe in order to tune in to the next installment. That one will be introducing you all to banned book titles that are typically found on banned book watch lists, so I would definitely recommend tuning into that one. That one's my favorite of the series by far. I will see you in the next video.